Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Epo Dempsey Roll, aka Rayo, and today I'd like to talk about Haunted Chocolatier. So a few days ago, there was an update to the blog here for Concerned Ape's game, and I figure I might as well read it because it's if you're not really clued into uh, Concerned Ape's like blog or website or his Twitter, this news might kind of pass you by, but I think it's worth kind of reading and talking about just so more people are aware of it. So combat shields, stuns, and my approach. Hey everyone, thanks so much for all the kind words about the announcement last week. It's been a lot of fun to see everyone's reaction after working on this for over a year in secret. Now I am back into the grind of making the game, which I enjoy. I plan on using this blog in a casual way, to write about what I'm up to and to share tidbits about Haunted Chocolatier. I probably won't stick to any defined schedule, but instead of just posting things when it feels right. So, yeah, I'll just kind of interject when there's something kind of noteworthy to talk about. One thing I want to mention is the combat. Haunted Chocolatier has a greater focus on combat, and he did mention that before. So it needs to be very fun, satisfying, and engaging, while also appropriately fitting into the bigger picture. You can rest assured that I'm not copying and pasting Stardew's combat. On the contrary, almost everything in Haunted Chocolatier, including the combat, is completely coded and drawn from scratch. Here's an example. Unmute if you want to hear the sound. Let's do that. There you go. So let's talk about this GIF real quick. In the original trailer that they showed for this game, the combat seemed largely the same, and that was a little bit of like a weird dissonance for me when they were talking about this was going to be a combat focused game more so than Stardew, and yet from what I had seen in the small original trailer, it seemed mostly the same. But here we're seeing something very different. The character has a shield, blocks, and then the bee enemy gets stunned after trying to ram it and getting hit by the shield, and then your character comes in and swings to defeat it. And take note of the swinging attacks in Stardew and in the original trailer for Haunted Chocolatier. The swinging was just this one arcing motion that repeated, much in the same way that, say, The Legend of Zelda A Link to the Past, like the swinging motion was sort of like this swipe that kind of went in one direction only. But here you're seeing it go from left to right, which is really cool. I think it just seems a lot more satisfying and cool to have it that way. That's sort of like my biggest takeaway. And also the pixel art looks fantastic. You may have noticed this from the earlier footage, but there are shields in the game. Many attacks can be blocked with the shield, and most cases, blocking an attack causes the enemy to become stunned, right? While an enemy is stunned, you can attack them much faster, as seen above. The shield stun mechanic rewards more cautious, patient players who wait for a window of opportunity. But you don't have to play like this. You could just as well charge in aggressively, and if you can pull it off, you'll defeat enemies much more quickly this way. It's interesting that he mentions that you can do it much more quickly. I wonder if there's going to be some kind of timing speed element to the game where you will need to weigh your options in terms of like taking a slower approach, but it's more effective and survivable, versus a quicker approach where you can rack up the kills and maybe get higher combos or something like that, and possibly better rewards for doing it quicker. There will be other offhand items besides shields that will complement different playstyles. So when I hear that, I think instantly of Bloodborne, even though this game shares nothing in common with Bloodborne. But that would be kind of neat if you could have in your offhand like some kind of firearm, some kind of projectile weapon to attack enemies from afar and then come in close for melee. You might also notice that the swing animation looks different than it did in the original footage, right? And I just mentioned that. That's because I'm still working on everything, and it's all a work in progress. Everything seen so far could still change before the game is finished. If you follow the development of Stardew Valley, this will be familiar. And you can actually go to Concerned Ape's YouTube channel, and if you scroll all the way back, you can actually see the updates that he put up for Stardew Valley in the earliest days before launch, and the game looked very different from how we know it looked at launch, and the updates ever since. It looked very different. So again, we can expect much of this to possibly change as the game progresses, and that's fine. I'm cool with that. I'll also mention really quick that I like the walking animation for the character. You can notice that his hair kind of flops. Their hair kind of flops as they walk. That's not something that's possible in Stardew Valley, and it makes me wonder, like, when you're customizing your character, all the different hairstyles, they would have had to animate every single different hairstyle flopping as you walk. That seems like a lot of work. Also, if you followed Stardew's development, you might know that I like to keep my cards close to my chest. I prefer to leave many things to be discovered by players, which is totally fine. I love that. I love that's something in this day and age we don't get enough of, to be honest. We know so much about games even before they come out, right? All the secrets and the tips and the codes. And I love the fact that there's still so much to discover about Stardew Valley, even for me that's put in so many hours. There's just so much to do. I think it's more fun that way. I want to surprise and delight people. But if they already know everything in the game, that takes a certain element out of the final experience. The bottom line is that I won't rest or release this game until I'm personally satisfied that it's fun and compelling in every aspect. If it never gets there, I'll just never release it, which is kind of worrying. But then he goes on to say, but don't worry, I have 100% faith that I'll get it there. Everything is on the right track so far. I have the complete vision for the game in my head, and it's just a matter of grinding it out, which is what I'm doing every day! Exclamation mark. Thanks for reading this, for reading all of this. All right, I'm getting back to work, Ape. So yeah, that's about it. Just a quick little update about the combat in this game. Periodically, Concerned Ape will be updating this site, this blog, with more information about Stardew Valley. Oops, sorry, not Stardew Valley. Well, about the spiritual successor to Stardew, Haunted Chocolatier. And if you folks are all interested in this, I'll make more videos as they come out, just kind of reporting about these updates and kind of giving my own 2 cents about what we're seeing here. But what do you all think about Haunted Chocolatier thus far? I'm pretty excited. I hope you are. Let me know in the comments below. And that's about it. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.